It's true.
Yes!
What's happening?
Woohoo!
Shuffling.
Jennifer Robbins happening.
There
you go.
Thank you, Frank Sauce. You know, with Mark Twain, actually, he had this bed that had an elaborate headboard with angels and cherubs and other beatific creatures carved on it. And I remember the quote about his bed in particular, that he liked to sleep backwards in his bed so that he could admire his beautiful headboard rather than ignore it.
We all have Mark Twain stories, don't we?
And he really liked cats, too. So, we've got some portraits of people, a couple that are in my book, published book, Death Confetti, and one that happened that Kurt Eisenlohr is here filming this. But he was with me once when we were stuck all night in a San Jose Denny's, and this one is called Sentry, about some of the characters in there. I don't know if it's meth or crack or being dropped on his head as a baby, but a lean pussy willow of a man in khaki pants half undone is bathroom Sentry, rangy, wall-eyed, whispering for cigarettes in the San Jose Denny's. And he flags. He is getting out of time as the hour approaches 6 a.m. He jitterbugs. His eyes seek 1,000 faces at once. His hips be possessed by Tasmanian devils. He's got more poses than a catwalk model. And a roll of yellow foam crushed in his hand.
I think he must be interpreted as a Rothschild.
He was Rasta?
A Rothschild.
A Rothschild?
A Rothschild. You said with the interpretation of a Rothschild.
Rothschild. There used to be a candy. There used to be a candy called Rothschild.
Go with you.
No.
I'll
There's
do
still
another.
a family called Rothschild.
There is still a family called the Rothschilds. I'm sure they're up to a lot of things right now. Buying and selling mostly, I suspect. Here's another short profile called Holes. I was walking down the bus mall, and there's this inexplicable store that always has party favors and blow-up dolls and those life-sized cardboard cutouts of Marilyn Monroe and William Shatner and all those. So, and I was just walking by on a Sunday afternoon, and there was this woman who was emaciated and mostly naked. And this is in wandering through the store, and this is called Holes. In the party favors store, a tweaker lady, nude under a pair of overalls, rakes her hands through a rustic basket of individually wrapped hard candies. She is all of 23. With the memories of a crone. These candies can plug the holes where her soul leaks out. One man at a time. One car. One sofa cushion. Clouds and blue sky shine out of her holes. I see vistas where there was once a child.
It's one of my favorite pieces.
Okay. And I'll race to the end of one that takes place in a bar, not unlike Tony's. And one of the things described in here, because gentrification is happening fast, one of the things described in here is already gone.
You better talk quick, because we'll be gone.
Okay. If you want me to get off stage, I can. Okay.
The wrecking ball is coming.
The wrecking ball is coming! Okay. In downtown Seattle by Union Station, there is a corroded metal awning that reads, Publix Hotel. And at certain points, the metal has corroded a micron wide. And at some points, you could, if you were already levitating, hold your breath and ease right through it. As the clouds cover the sun and you gaze at the awning of the Publix Hotel, you get the feeling that you are standing in a three-dimensional daguerreotype. Within spitting distance of the awning is a cartoonish mural of Bruce Lee and an endless stream of potato-shaped men in billoway gray t-shirts pose for camera phone photos, pretending that they are engaging with Bruce in a battle to the death. Within spitting distance, or perhaps we should say kicking distance of Bruce, is Joe's Bar. This is Chinatown, and the sidewalks feel supercharged with an endless flow of commuters, hobos, and darling cartoon-perfect Asian girls who wear knockoffs of supermodel finery. Their postures are so erect, their beauty is so embraced, their arms flail in the air with choreographed gestures of delight. For the rest of their lives, they will never be as alive as they are today, and it is our duty as spectators to savor them. They function as the circulation, the wind itself, and this wind passes over and purifies the grizzled pates of the patrons of Joe's Bar. You cannot miss Joe's Bar. You cannot miss the neon in the windows and the open doors, where men spill onto the sidewalk in rumpled rain gear, wizard outfits, and all those t-shirts. All those t-shirts that feature Joe Camel and choppers and American flags.
Yes.
There is a jukebox playing in Joe's, and it is always playing.
Yeah.
In fact, this is a cult of the jukebox. Oh, there's more. I'm gonna pull your ear off with this one. And it's a cult of the jukebox, and the clientele, upon entering, innately understand it is their duty to feed the box, ensure that music is always flowing, is honey, is manna, is wine in the air. When the music stops, you can hear a general muttering and a clapping of hands, but this relative silence will not do. The tall black man is the gatekeeper, and he strides a little sideways and stands as long and thin as a voodoo icon in a navy windbreaker, Coke bottle glasses, nondescript baseball cap, shuffle, shuffle, over to the jukebox. He doesn't want to have to spend all his money, but it has to be done. The music must play. Around his table is a parchment-faced woman with oily blonde hair, jeans, and t-shirt. She smacks her mouth back and forth and cries, "I want the scorpions!" But it turns out that Boogie Nights is going on instead. A small elderly man who looks South American does soft shoe and cloud gray attire. His clothing is pitifully forgettable. It is so gray compared to the life which keeps on dancing. A Native American woman gets up and shows off disco moves that slice through the air. Her hustle, her funky chicken, all of her assorted tricks and treasures are on display. As she is advancing in age, her limbs are stiff, and she moves with the jerkiness of an animatronic puppet, like the ones I saw as a child in Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
My bandmate and I were in there for an hour or so, and we passed a series of tests. We sat long enough. We drank long enough. We bobbed our heads to the music, and soon, the tall man in his baseball cap, the one I call the gatekeeper, he came over and asked if I would select a song on the jukebox. I felt like I was on the spot. He showed me his 5-mile-wide smile. This, he told me, was my welcome to the bar. He escorted me to the box, where I stared down at that glass pane, and I flipped through the pages of tepid fare like Foghat and Southern rock compilations.
Yes!
And a 2-box Led Zeppelin set, and Rod Stewart's greatest hits, and Thriller. I unconsciously felt a pressure to pick something unexpected. Something more soulful and yet unexpected than what was on display for me. The song I picked never ended up going on while I was there. The gatekeeper beckoned me to his table with a sort of mythical whisper. At first I wondered if he was saying, "Do you like penis?" Penis? But after approaching him where he sat magisterial with the heavy metal woman and the boogie night machine dancer, I watched him remove an enormous bag of unshelled peanuts from his backpack and offer it to me. First of all, I don't have the patience to shell unshelled peanuts. Secondly, the amount of peanuts in this bag would fill 7 times the real estate of my stomach. His consorts grinned at me, honey, and said, honey, you don't have to. I concurred. I said, you know, I'm really glad you offered them, but I'm just not going to eat these. I gave him my confidential face. My confidential face is a smile. And the gatekeeper grinned a sheepish grin. And he held out both of his hands, and we did a complicated handshake. And we both smiled, and he said he just wanted to welcome me to the bar. And I felt very welcomed by this man so old, with a crystal river voice that rang in a duet with Jukebox Roy Orbison. This man, this ebony tower of smoke. Right before we left, a second man with a brilliantine salt and pepper quiff and a polo shirt and a louche disregarded body, burned a crab shade, offered us yet another $1 to stay there and make selections. The barflies drink and cackled and drank, and they made sure the music would never end, 'cause when the music's over... Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Tony's my favorite reading in the universe.
Yeah!
Thank you.
Oh,
And thank you
it's all over it now!
Thank you for letting me go on.
Fuck you all!
Fuck us.